I'm Ed,
I'm Jonathan.
and we got to get hustling on the tractor we call the Hustler. Welcome to another episode of Small Town Puller. All right, so it's time we get going on this one. We're kind of at a standstill point on Jonathan's tractor, so we need to get going on this one. Once we get this one done, we can bring up my tractor, and then we got a lot of work to do on that one. This one is probably one of the one tractor with the least amount of work.
Don't say that because we're just gonna dig in.
I know, it will break bolts and stuff, but the biggest thing we need to do, we got to pull all the heads off. All the, I guess if you want to call them valve covers, but the cylinder head covers off. And we've got a new set of higher compression heads to put on this tractor. When we have that apart, we're going to take a look at the cylinders, make sure we don't have any scoring or anything, because if we do, then we can change out the cylinder at that point in time. And then I would like to actually take and paint these. I know they're pink right now. We're going to paint them purple to kind of match the
purple, not some random purple.
Yeah, we're going to paint the purple to match the tractor. Then that's the biggest thing we have to do. I do want to make a new switch box for it sometime, but that's not going to be priority. The other thing we need to do is clean up. This actually broke off, so we need to get that mounted back. And then we have a new set of aluminum wheels we want to put on it. These tires are weather checked really bad. The rims are nothing great. We've always intended on switching them. We just have never done it. And I have the set of rims sitting up on the shelf, so we want to get that done as well. I think that's about it. We do want to do something with the ignition timing on it, but I don't have the parts here for it. Oh, the other thing we need to do is we've got these shorter pedals for this thing. So we're going to do that, and then we may try to move the pedals ahead just a little bit farther after we do that. It might not be much, but even if we can get them an inch farther ahead, it is going to be more comfortable to drive potentially for rows. And actually, we might not move them ahead. We might just be able to adjust them right there. But that's going to be our big thing, is getting all that stuff put on. I'm really excited for these. These are kind of cool. If they work out, we might try to get a second set for Jonathan's tractor.
No, that one isn't that bad.
It ain't as bad, but these would help. But yeah, that's about it. There ain't a ton to do to this thing. Just kind of go over it, clean it up. I would like to change again. I'd like to change the exhaust or clean up the exhaust sometime. Get rid of these sharp 90 degree elbows. But we've been running this tractor like this for years, or with this engine combination in it for years. It's never a top contender, but it always seems to do decent. And on the right day, would you quit playing with the spring? On the right day, the tractor is fairly competitive. And it is consistently competitive if we set it upright. It's not just not consistently on the top. So that's one of the reasons we're changing out the heads. After we change out the heads, we're going to work on gearing. See if we can't get the gearing dialed in just a little bit better. I wouldn't mind being a little more competitive. So I think that's about all we got to do to it. Jonathan's going to start by taking the heads off, and I'm going to start working on the new hub assemblies for the new rims. I'm also going to keep working on, we did get a template made for the cover for the flywheel for Jonathan's tractor, so I'm going to work on that as well. So we're going to get tools out and get going on it. So here are the new rims we have for it. They're just a touch shorter, which ain't going to be a big deal. We're going to have to make new hubs anyway, so we'll just change where it welds onto the spindle right there. But I just need to get some spindles made. They've been sitting up on the shelf, hence the dust on them. But I'll get new spindles made for it, and we'll get these things mounted up, and it should look quite a bit better. So kind of excited to see them on there. So Jonathan's going to continue to take that apart. He's got the top water passage off. He's working on the head covers now. I'm working on this. We're kind of mocking up the new wheel, and the only issue we're really going to have right now is I need to try to get this wheel spaced in a little bit farther. So I think we're actually going to cut down these hubs just a little bit. I'll put them on the lathe to cut them. That way, hopefully I can get them nice and perfectly smooth, or perfectly cut. But normally I wouldn't care, but with the way these tractors sit in the trailer, one of the big reasons we put this tractor where we do is because the front end's so much narrower than the rest of them, and I can pull another tractor right beside it pretty easy. So it might still work if we left them just like this, but currently it is about altogether, I'm going to say 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches wider than the old setup. So I think what I'm going to do, you okay?
Yeah.
Did you get the bolt loose though? Perfect. Try not to hurt ourselves today. Tomorrow's Mother's Day. We need to
What do you mean?
be tip top for that.
Mom would be so happy.
Yeah, Mom's gonna be super stoked if we have to take you to the doctor.
What?
So yeah, that's what we're going to, I think I'm just going to try to cut that hub down a little bit, and then I can take, we just push these bearings out right here, and then I can put it on the lathe. We can cut that down a little bit, and then that should be enough to get us, we can actually probably get a little more out of here too, but that should be enough to get our wheels shoved in. I'll probably just try to take, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch off of there, and then we could probably get another 1/4 inch off of there, which will give us about an inch. So I think that's what we're going to try to do. I think that will work. Otherwise, the new wheels are going to look kind of nice on here. So while Jonathan keeps pulling the heads and stuff off the tractor, I'm over here machining this down. I got it cut down. We took off 3/4 of an inch. Now I just need to put that bevel on the inside, so I'm going to have to measure how far that needs to go in and get that set so the bearing can press down back in there again. So we're going to get everything kind of set up. We're going to change the tooling. Anytime I'm cutting a piece like this, I'll a lot of times put something on the chuck and shove it inside there. That way, in case it would come off the lathe, it doesn't come shooting out of there. But no, otherwise cut went pretty good. I actually cut a lot smoother than I thought it was going to. Now we just got to hog out a little bit of the inside. So Jonathan got all this apart. You can see we've actually, over the last couple years, we've cooked 3 cylinders, and I think we've cooked this one twice and this one once. You can see like both the first 2 cylinders look way better than the second one. This is the original one in the motor yet. Overall, we got to rotate the motor around a little bit. Cylinder walls don't look too bad. Here are the new heads that are going on it. They're just slightly higher compression than the ones we're taking off. Not much, but enough just to help a little bit. The other thing is, you can tell this off the number 3 cylinder because every time we've cooked a cylinder, we have sent piston ring all throughout. So number 1 and number 2, take the bolts off there, Jonathan. I think are both, let's see here. I think both of them heads are pretty gnarly looking. This one ain't too bad. This one has a little bit of marking and stuff on it, but not too bad. This one is by far the worst. This is the one, I think that was after Gratiot when we switched the cylinder, and this one was pretty gnarly.
I might keep this.
Yeah, we'll put that on the wall. But regardless, all of them are going off. Like I said, we're going to put these on. These are from a guy by the name of Brad Worston. If you want, go on YouTube and go to Brad Worston Air Show. This guy does some cool stuff. If you actually get a hold of him, he has built a handful of snowmobile engines from scratch. And we are talking blocks, cranks. He is a machinist. His hobby is he drives stunt planes, and it is really cool. The plane he's got is really, really awesome. There's videos all over on YouTube of the Brad Worston Air Show. Look him up. Really cool guy. But he actually machines these for us, and we could order them in, I think, 3 different compressions. And we kind of talked to him about what he recommended for our motor, and he said go with these. He's also the one that recommended changing the ignition system on it, which I would like to do sometime. I just have to get the parts rounded up to do it. So overall, Jonathan's got that off. I think I'm going to have him start prepping them for paint by getting them all cleaned and degreased, and then we can get them ready to paint hopefully in the next week or so. I probably should make sure I have enough paint for it. So that's what he's going to do. I'm almost done machining the one hub, so I'm going to try to finish that, and then we can start getting that mounted. So I got this one all put together, all machined down. Everything actually went pretty good. Takes me a little while to do that stuff. I'm not really a machinist, but there is the difference between the one I just cut down and the old one. So that actually puts the wheel about right where I need it. So that's going to work out really, really nice. We're not even going to have to take anything off right in there. We're going to be able to use leave the head of the bolt on there. And
it's still not as narrow.
It's going to be a tick wider, but I'm fine with that. This will be just fine. I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, Jonathan's right. You look over here. That one's really close. This one's going to stick out just a hair. I mean, it might go in 1/8 inch yet, but overall, I'm pretty happy with that one. I don't mind if the tractor's just a little bit wider, but I think the final measurement was 3/4 of an inch off of this, so that makes a big difference. Now we just got to get the actual hub or the axle made that those go on, and I think we'd be able to mount them, but I got to cut that one down too yet. But so we're about ready to weld on the new axles for the front wheels. I got these ground off, did a mediocre job. We're going to try to straighten up the wheels. The angles on this is a little bit different angle than this side. You can see this side venting a little bit on the top. We're just going to try to fix that with the way we weld these on. So That's gonna be our next step. I took these over to lathe and kind of made sure these are nice and smooth. We're gonna kind of set the steering and all that stuff, and then we are going to tack these on. So that's our next goal, is tack these on. Once I get them tacked on, I can actually take them off. We'll finish welding them up over on the bench, and then we'll be able to paint them and actually put them back on. The only thing we have to do after that is cut the threads right here, but we're gonna wait till it's on the tractor before we do that. But hopefully, if we have really good luck by the end of the day, this thing might have some new wheels on the front of it, and that'd be really nice. So get the welder over here and get them tacked on. And we got the new axles tack welded on. Overall, not too bad. Everything's within, I think, up and down compared to the chassis. I think we are less than a half a degree off on both of them, and they're really close. Everything went pretty good. We had to cut the one on the left side off once and kind of remount that, but I think I have them tacked in place to the point where Jonathan can take the spindles off. I can weld them, and then we can cut them to length, paint them, and put everything together. So slow and steady, but we're making progress. I got the new spindles on, the hubs are on, everything went good there. We put new bearings in it. Jonathan's got, I think he's on his last one. I'm going to try to paint these tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow night. That way we can put them on Saturday, because then we can hook the water system back up, and that thing technically could run again. So hopefully Saturday that thing is kind of ready to roll, with the exception of maybe washing it up and throwing it in the trailer. That thing should be about ready to roll. So be nice to have one done. We haven't even started putting the motor back together for Dad's yet, and we haven't even started taking the motor apart in mine yet. So hopefully too, the turbo stuff can go back on that one here before too long. But for now, yeah, new spindles are on, and here in a couple of minutes we should have the new tires on. And this thing will, for once, I think I bought these tires for this probably, I don't know, it's probably been 8 years ago now, and took me a little while, but we're gonna get them on, and it'll make this tractor look a lot better.
Donkey Kong.
And they're on like Donkey Kong. Nope, new wheels are on. I think they look good. I'll put new bearings in them so they spin nice and free. We have to set the height a little bit. That one's actually, the one on the right side is actually down a little bit to the left side. I don't know if it just kind of, these nuts right here can adjust your right height in the front. I don't know if the one just kind of worked itself down, but overall, I want to say it's about inch, maybe an inch and a half wider. The wheels were really close to being level with this before. Now there's about a half inch, but overall, the inch width difference in the trailer, I think will be all right. So pretty pumped on that one. I think Jonathan does have all the heads ready to paint, so we can do them tomorrow. And then, yeah, I think Saturday we should be able to come in here, kind of finish putting everything back together. New pedals are on. I don't know, we might have to adjust them a little bit for Mom, but overall, hopefully those are a little bit better. If we have to, now we can actually move them ahead a little bit if she needs a little more leg room. I was able to sneak some time from work today and get these painted. They're still a little tacky, but overall it's going to look so much better having them actually match the roll cage and the frame and everything. There's the water pipe. But overall, Jonathan got all scuffed last night. We, like I say, sneak a little time at work today to get everything painted. So we should be able to put them on tomorrow. So that'll be really nice. That we can kind of button up all that stuff again. So Jonathan, I gotta go get Jonathan. He's at home right now. And I think we're gonna work on the tractor a little bit here, and then probably call it an early night, and then come back tomorrow morning. And I think we're gonna call it for the night. We're gonna come back tomorrow morning and try to finish putting this all back together. But all the new heads are on. Jonathan chased all the threads. That took him a little while, but he took his time, got all them done. And the new heads are on. He got them all sorted. I just kind of come back and made sure everything was tight. So that's done. We did adjust the toe on the wheels a little bit, so those are a little bit better. So now those track a little bit straighter. In fact, I might have them towed in a little too much, but overall, it shouldn't be too bad. Tomorrow morning, we should be able to come in, finish putting the head covers and stuff back on, and potentially even just get this thing fired up. Jonathan did notice too that this is loose, so we need to tighten that back up. Eventually, we need to make a new box for that, but that is not going to happen right away. So I think we're gonna call it. Come back tomorrow morning and get going on it again. All right, today we're going to finish this thing. I went unmasked all the heads. We stuck around last night. I did some polishing on the stainless pipes for Jonathan's tractor. The first set we put up, I just kind of brushed them so they had more of a brushed stainless look. It is not the highest of quality of stainless steel, so it could be polished better, but again, we don't actually know if this exhaust system is going to work, so there is a slim chance that the new wastegate and everything will not be enough, and we will have to do all this a third time. I'm really hoping not, but this wastegate is significantly bigger, so I'm hoping we can get rid of enough exhaust gas on that one. However, we're working on this one. Again, Love the purple. I'm so happy that we are no longer going to have pink covers. All we got to do is put the new O-rings on here. We're going to clean that off a little bit. But put the new O-rings on there. We have to tighten the ignition switch box and mount the little ignition box for the motor. And I think this thing is ready to go. So all that stuff is buttoned up. We're ready to go there. Jonathan's going to fix that. We should be able to just use the other ear that was on the little control module or the ECM box for the motor. We should be able to just use the other ear that was on that. So that should be a quick fix. The only hiccup we had was the well nut on this one right there come loose, and I had to order different walnuts because of how thick the steel is. Mine are having a hard time grabbing, so I did order some of them just now. I think those are going to be here in a couple of days, and then that should be it. It's got to be cleaned up. We're going to clean the clutches and everything before we load it, but after Jonathan gets that switched over, that should be it for this thing for the day until those walnuts show up. So then we'll be able to move on to other things. All right, so we're back down here. We should be able to finish this one up pretty easy tonight. Jonathan's back with me, so he's going to sand the clutches. I'm going to do some work in his other tractor that long, but we're going to get clutches all sanded up, and then we're going to actually put some marks in here so we can kind of see where the belt's riding. After that, he can put the cover back on, and this thing will be ready to wash. So he's going to get going on that, and then I'm going to get going on a couple other things. All right, Jonathan, I think the last thing we need to do is fire this thing up, fill it with water. So fire it up, wash it, we're ready to load it for the season. Ready? Ignition on. All right, John, it officially fires up. I think we're ready to wash it up and load it in the trailer. Well, Jonathan's got the tractor all washed up and she's ready to go, so we're ready to put it in the trailer. Hope you enjoyed the video, and as always,
Please like, share, and subscribe.
we'll see you next time.